Hi, and welcome to part 16 of Let's Build a Chatbot in C# using Microsoft Agent Framework. In this video, I'm gonna tackle something I have been annoyed by for a while, and that is that, yes, I built a chatbot, but I couldn't really share it with anyone unless I actually put them into my Microsoft Entra ID. So essentially, what we built in some videos ago was an internal login. So for that reason, I have put in multiple providers, both as an education, but also as an option to put in multiple of these in here. So I put in Auth0 as well, which if you have done any kind of login, you probably know, in order to make social logins as well. So let's have a look at it. We won't go too much into the code. It's mostly generated by AI anyway. But just to understand what's going on, let's jump into the system. And the system have gotten some new parameters here. We need 4 for Auth0, we need a callback, and we need a client ID, a secret ID, and a domain. And you get those by logging into your Auth0, and you can just make a free account. No need to pay anything in order to do this. And then you go in and build an application. And once you have an application, you get your domain, your client ID, and your client secret. And that's what we need to put in there. So what I've done up here is essentially just made the application called a chatbot, gotten these 3 values that it auto generates, and then put in callback URLs down here for login and logout, and then the allowed web origins. This is just a regular web application. And then I went into authentication and chose social and set up that it could log in with GitHub, Google Auth, and Windows, meaning Windows private accounts. Entra ID will take care of the other things. So all of these have not really been set up to other than development. There is more work to be done in order to go into production, but we won't be covering that here. That will mostly be documentation about Auth0, how you set all these things up. So all of these are just press next and nothing more. So once we have those, we can put them in. But I've also taken care of that, for example, if you don't want to use Auth0, you can write the word none in all these fields, and it will disable Auth0. And in the same manner, we have Entra ID. I've moved it into parameters here instead of being in the app. Let me find it here. Before this video, it was in app settings here. Those app settings are now gone and been put down into being in the system, so we can configure everything in one place. And again, you can put in none in all of these, but you need to choose at least one of them. Put it in the comments if you feel like we should have none in both and it should be a local login only. But let's see what we can do here. Right now I'm logged in, but I can log out. And because I have both enabled, I've made this little screen in order to log in with either Auth0 or Entra ID. Because at some point I want to plan to actually host this this chatbot so you can try it out using some more data. Because you would normally go to ChatGPT, but my idea at the moment is that I want to do RAG on all my videos up in the YouTube channel in order for you to have a chatbot where you can actually ask about different topics in Agent Framework and be led to the right videos. That's my plan. And that's also one of the reasons why I put in the various server settings in order to disable things like image generation at that point. And I will then be allowed to use Entra ID to log in with just normal login methods here. So I can log in here and get in. But everyone else will be allowed to use, let me jump in here again, the Auth0 here. And in Auth0, we get this screen where you have 4 different options. You can either sign up for just a username and password, or use your Google account, GitHub account, or Microsoft account. And I haven't really written any code in order to do that. That's the beauty of Auth0. So if I want to log in with my GitHub, I can do that. And normally it will pop up with login information, but I have already authorized here, so I just need to accept. And now I'm in with my GitHub. I can go back and switch and go in with my username and password here. Or I can go in and choose one of the others. And behind the scenes, users are being created up here, all with the same, or almost the same email address. I have multiple, but you can see they are from various different things: username and password, GitHub, Google, or Windows. So I can control who is here. It's being passed on through those different social models. We'll look a little about the code. Again, we won't go into too much of it, but in the app host, we now have a bunch of extra environments for the Auth0 and the Entra ID. And then in program, I have put in authentication, but with the 2 authenticators that we can use, and I put the up in authorization. So if you need to look at the Auth0 part, it's in this folder, and if it's the Entra, it's in this folder. And this is the share bits where we generate the little screen about being logged in with one or the other. So they either have a login from Auth0 or login from Entra, and there's a few endpoints that need to be set up, and here we have the screen that we can choose our provider. So the endpoints are for the various things in order for us to log in. Again, this is default authentication stuff. I'm not very strong in that area, but luckily my handy codex is, so it helped me a lot building this part. But now we have authentication, and we only need one more video in this series for this time around until we go to other backends and frontends, and that is the actual deployment, which is in the next video. So see you there.